This is like the Tupac versus Biggie of IPAs.
Welcome to Tapping Out Show. We're going to do a little bit of an experiment. We're going to have a Heady Topper versus Pliny the Elder, face to face, up close and personal. We're going to make sure that everything is even keel. We're going to put each one in a matching glass. I know you're not supposed to drink this out of a glass. That's not the point. It's part of the experiment. They're both 8% alcohol by volume. They're both double IPAs. Distribution is very difficult. What else is there to put about it? They're rated very high. Very high.
This is a special episode we're doing. California just got its first wave of Heady Topper. They just got distribution in Southern California. I was able to get a couple of the first batch that came out. Jeremy actually had a good idea for once, and he said, we finally are going to have a Russian River, Pliny the Elder, and a Heady the Topper in the same room at the same time, and let's just kind of do a head-to-head. And try them, because usually when you try a beer that you like, you had it a week ago, a day ago, so we're going to try them both same time, same place, East Coast versus West Coast. These are both hard beers to get if you know anything about either one of these, and they're both double IPAs. They're both in the 8% range, so they're pretty
even keel.
They're pretty even. They usually rate 4.5 or higher depending on what you're looking at. So I mean, West Coast versus East Coast, double IPA. Let's see what happens.
Well, because here's my thing. Everybody talks about these being perfect beers. Perfect beers.
Yeah.
So I want to find out which one of these beers is better. That's what I want to find out. So we're going to open these up and we're going to find out what we think. You tell us what you think. All right, so my theory is I'm going to try to get it as close as I can on both. Try to get the head about even.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a different pour out of the can, but I'm serious. I
actually got 3 of these, so I tried a Heady last night. I tried the drinking out of a can thing, and I drank it out of 2 different taster glasses. I don't get what they're saying about drinking out of a can because it was not the same out of the can. It's way better out of a glass. So we're doing it out of a glass here. But it does say like 100 times to drink it out of the can. And I did try that yesterday. I didn't really think it was worth doing right now just because I really didn't get it.
Well, like I said, I want this thing to be
That's what I'm saying,
as possible. So many people talk about how good these beers are, how these are the best beers, and of course I screwed the head on that one. That these are the best beers ever. Like, hands down, if you're an IPA guy or if you're just a beer connoisseur,
well, if you're an IPA guy, this is Pliny the Elder is the West Coast. Even if it's not your favorite one, you heard of it. If you haven't had one, you wish you had one. You talked about it. I actually met somebody at the craft brew convention. He wasn't from California. Asked him if he ever had a Pliny. He said he's seen an empty bottle before. So I mean that's serious. So it's hard to get. This thing we've been trying to get for 2 years. We haven't tried that hard, but my wife was on the East Coast. She would have had to drive to the state of Vermont to go get one. I mean, they're hard to get. Pliny purposely is hard to get. That's kind of their marketing strategy.
I kind of think it's the same for both, actually. I believe that they purposely had made it very, not difficult to get, but I'm not sure if there's just smaller batches or if it's just the fact that these beers are rated so high that it gives them that, not just the mystique behind them, but it also allows for the short supply that is out there to reach as many people as possible. Because Here's the other joke about these 2 beers: when you do actually get your hands on one, you can only get one.
Yeah.
And that's the other kind of weird concept. Don't get me wrong. I've heard stories about going here and you can get his 6-pack or 4-pack. I know if you go to Russian River, you get a case.
Or 2. Yeah, I've seen my friends leave. Well, that's the difference though for us. For Pliny, we can go drive hours to Northern California and get one. Vermont is the other side of the United States, so these don't get our way as much until, of course, they just started distributing them. So top off the head.
For the Heady
So,
Topper?
not much head on the Heady. All right. So here's the deal. We were debating on trying to cover this so we couldn't really see them. Just almost like a blind taste test. We decided not to do that. We're just going to go head to head. All right, so we're going to try these out head to head. Let's figure out which one we like better.
I'll be drinking the Pliny, and he'll be trying the Heady first.
Clear that out real quick. You're the IPA guy. Go for it. What do you prefer and why?
I actually thought it was going to be a tighter race until I tried the Heady yesterday. I prefer the Pliny. I'm a West Coast guy. To me, the Heady is a really good IPA. It's really floral. It's really dry. It's bitter. But I like the piney, more West Coast flavor of the Pliny. I'm glad we got to do them head to head.
Right.
You can really tell the difference. They're actually a lot more similar than you would think. When you try them together, it's really back end taste and everything else.
Okay.
This guy's just East Coast. It's just an East Coast IPA and a West Coast IPA. These are perfect examples of the two. And people always, and that's what kind of upset me yesterday, honestly, when I tried the Heady, is these two are nothing like each other. I don't know why people have even compared the two beers to each other, because this is, all the ones that we try, the New England, they call it or whatever. To me, that's someone's version of a Heady or that style.
Right.
This is a West Coast IPA. I think this should be compared to other East Coast IPAs. I think this should be compared to other West Coast IPAs. And I'm glad we got to do this, but I don't think there ever should have even been a discussion because they're just two different animals. That's just my opinion, though.
Well, seeing that, again, the reason why that is based on availability and mystique and the fact that they were double IPAs and the same similar alcohol. I'm going to try it one more time before I get mine.
See, this seems more your style right here.
Well,
you can almost appreciate the Pliny a little bit more, though, I think. Maybe.
So,
I don't know.
and
tell me.
I'm going to eat my words. I really am, because we all know how I feel about Pliny the Elder, but I like Pliny the Elder better.
I knew it.
For two reasons. One, yes, they're not really that comparable. They have the only thing besides the fact that they're doubles in the alcohol content, their tastes, their back end tastes are very complex on both sides. And honestly, I just prefer the drinkability of the Pliny the Elder over Heady Topper.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, I'm not an IPA guy, and if you're really into, like, Matt loves bitter, loves dry, loves that style of IPAs. Matter of fact, I think he's really gotten into a lot of the New England style IPAs. That's why I was kind of surprised that you said Pliny. But I'm going to say I like Pliny the Elder better. I mean, it's nothing against Heady Topper, but head to head, glass is the glass, I would drink this over this if you were going to ask me which one I wanted. At least today, because
these are both fresh.
Yeah.
These just came into California.
This week?
Yeah, I got this week. This just came. So these are both.
week?
These are both. We just got these this week. So these are both fresh. Just got delivered this week. So these haven't been sitting. So we really wanted a fair comparison.
We rushed this actually, just to make sure.
I would really say though, if you're really doing a head-to-head comparison, it's not really fair because you're going to go. If you're a West Coast IPA guy,
Right.
or if you're an East Coast IPA guy, you're going to pick this one or you're going to pick this one. I like East Coast IPAs, but if I was gonna choose, I usually go over the West Coast ones like the hazies and stuff. But I try them all to figure out
right.
which
but
ones I like.
Like I said, this was just a pure experiment.
Yeah.
The only reason we did this is because there is so much hype between these two that people compare these two beers together, and I wanted to see. I wanted to see how close these two were, and I almost thought it was going to be harder for me to make the differentiations between them. So that's almost why I wanted to do the blind taste test, because to me it was almost like I really thought that if me and him didn't know which one was which, we would not know which one was which, and that's incorrect. And you can see it, you can smell it.
East Coast, West Coast.
You can see it, smell it, and taste it. They're completely different beers, and you know what?
But even you can appreciate the piney more.
Pliny,
because you taste something bitter like this, and then you taste something like this, and you're like, oh wow. Almost like when we go to a brewery and we try, their New England and their hazy and their pale ale and everything else, you can kind of get that bitter. So that's really what kind of threw me off though when I tried the Heady. Nothing against the beer, it's just the hype behind it. It's nothing like the hype kind of follows. It's if everyone just said, hey, it's a really
rare beer.
It's a really. They made it seem like it was an East Coast West Coast IPA kind of thing. It's like it's a perfect version of an East Coast IPA.
Okay.
But when you're going East Coast versus West Coast, those styles are so different. It's not really fair to that beer because you're gonna usually pick whatever style you like better. I think. I definitely would say the Piney's gonna win for most people.
I wouldn't go that route either. But for the Tapping Out show, Pliny did win. And here's the thing. I know some of you are going to disagree, and you know what? Let us know that. Because here's the fact that if you know anything that can compare to Heady Topper that we can get our hands on, I'd love to do a side-by-side with that. If you know anything else that's very similar to Pliny the Elder, literally the same. I'm talking to you beer guys, you actual beer connoisseurs that know what me and him are talking about right now with the taste. Let us know. That's email us.
Something like this.
No. You know what? Because I don't want to beat the dead horse because that's really what this is for. Because we have reviews for both these beers, so you know what our opinions are on them anyways. My whole thing is this. I want to know if we were right or wrong in your opinion. I want to know if you don't agree with either one of them. Tell me which beer compares to one of these two, and we'll compare them. We'll do a head-to-head to those two, and we'll shout you out on it too, because this was only based on the fact that these things have so many similar aspects that we had to do it. We had to do it. They're hard to get. 8% alcohol, double IPAs. They were supposed to be literally the best beers in the world. Like these, there's
a lot of new IPAs out there, but these two have been out for a while.
Right.
And they've both been very hard to get for a while. This thing just barely got on the West Coast. So these are probably two of the most popular IPAs, East Coast, West Coast, for a long time now. Just like you were saying, doing this, it makes me think that these guys shouldn't be battling each other. Should be beers, IPA similar to this versus IPA similar to this.
And that's what I'm asking.
Like monkish or something like that. And
Okay, right. So here's the thing. You know what? There is a lot of monkish beers that are very similar to Heady Topper. If you know one, let us know. And then, you know what? We'll try that then. But my whole point is this. I wanted to see which one was better, head to head. I feel it's Pliny the Elder. He feels that it's Pliny the Elder. If you agree, great. If you don't, let us know. And if you know any beers that are similar to either one of these two that you want us to do a head-to-head on, let us know. Its email is info@tappingoutshow.com. And you know what? Hit us up on social media. All one word, Tapping Out Show. Matter of fact, if you have any opinions on it, post it under this video. Let us know. Besides that, we'll finish these out, and you guys have a good night. Cheers.